The I-80 Harvest Tour and Ag Day is brought to you by Case IH. The Farm All has been the iconic partner on the farm for generations. Come celebrate a century of Farm All, the one for all, at farmall100.com. And by AGI. At AGI, we spend a lot of time focused on our product details, making sure you can store your grain how you need to and move it when you need to. Learn more at aggrowth.com.
The 2023 harvest could be one of the fastest ever for some farmers in Illinois with the late season dryness. But despite growing conditions that mirrored past drought years like 2012, the crop is better than expected, as Michelle Rook found out on this week's I-80 Harvest Tour stop.
Farmers in Illinois have been pleasantly surprised with harvest results on both corn and soybeans. While they did face drought during the season, some timely rains helped them produce some big yields.
Illinois was hit early in the season with a flash drought covering 60% of the state. That included Matt Bennett's farm in central Illinois.
In the month of June, we were excessively dry. It wasn't super hot, which kind of helped us out a little bit, but excessively dry whenever we were setting the ear size. So we were a little bit concerned.
But then they received some timely rains during pollination and again in early August.
The amount of rain, I believe, was just right to kind of get us through. So what we found is the yields have been very good, very competitive with what our best ever yields are, but not best ever by any means. We're probably 5 to 10% off on both corn and beans.
He says heat also trimmed yield potential early in the season and then shut down the corn in late August, early September.
On corn yields, we've seen a lot of early yields in that 240 to 250 range, getting down into the 220 range on some later stuff, that's on a little bit lighter ground.
On soybeans, he says again, timely rains helped their early beans and pulled up their farm average.
Our early beans were awfully good this year. We're talking some 80s. We got into some of the later maturing beans and they weren't quite as good. But overall, the average is going to be, again, maybe 5% under 2022. So a very good year overall.
Bennett says the late season heat and dryness also pushed the crop to maturity and it's dried down quickly, leading to one of the fastest harvests ever on his farm.
We've had some beans down to 10%. Corn moisture content getting down into that 13-14% level. And the thing is that all the corn and all the beans is ready right now. And with all this heat, everybody's trying to get to it as quick as they possibly can
before standability of the crop becomes an issue. Georgetown farmer Doug Kirk says he too is in a dry pocket in east central Illinois with precip 10 to 12 inches below normal during the season.
Where the yield is coming from in the end, I don't know, but we got off to a really good start with our planting this year, and despite the lack of a lot of rain, we're coming out with one heck of a crop.
In fact, his corn is running well over 200 bushels per acre, which is 15 to 30 bushels higher than Kirk anticipated.
We were so dry this year and so hot that we really thought our corn was going to take it on the chin, frankly. So where farms ought to make 220, we thought they might be 200 plus or minus 5 or 10 bushel. But what we're finding is where farms ought to be 230 bushel the acre, they're making that, and in some cases more.
The only caveat is the corn is a bit light.
The test weight's off a little bit from prior years, and that's probably due to the short grain fill period that we had.
Kirk says his soybeans are also running about 10 bushels over their APH or farm average, and the quality is better than 2022 with the lack of disease.
We've only been in a couple of fields that haven't been up near record yields, well into the 80s.
Both Kirk and Bennett say many farmers in Illinois are experiencing the same results. So while statewide yields will be below last year's records, they're still exceeding expectations. In Illinois, I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Ag Day.